Calling to order the regular meeting of the Wheeling Plant Commission for Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
All right, we have Commissioner Casper is absent with previous notice. Commissioner Heiken.
Here.
Commissioner Berkey.
Here.
Commissioner Sprague is here. Commissioner Riles.
Here.
Commissioner Meyer.
Here.
Chairman Johnson.
Here. Ms. Nyes, any changes to the agenda this evening?
No changes.
Citizens' concerns and comments. I believe we have someone who has signed up. Mr. Stylen.
Oh, hello.
You're up.
Thank you. I'm here to talk a little bit about the history of our town. Terry Stylen, currently acting president of the Wheeling Historical Society and Museum over on Wolf Road. In the mid-1900s, our church over there was struck by lightning several times, eventually causing the bell in the tower to be located on the ground. Subsequently, in the early 70s, the congregation relocated to the Presbyterian Church over on Highland Avenue. The congregation of the Presbyterian Church moved the bell onto the corner of Highland and their parking lot right on the sidewalk. And unfortunately, over the years, scavengers have harvested most of the parts of the bell except the bell, the 300 or 400 pound bell itself. In 2017, I was appointed president of the society. My personal goal was to bring back the bell. This year, in 2022, the church donated the remnant of the bell back to our historical museum. We now have it. What do? So we've established three primary goals: find a good location for the bell, raise funds to repair it, and increase the image of the museum and the society in the village. Getting the village, the park district, the library, cultural centers, veterans, and other organizations involved in our quest may help us fulfill our long-term vision of using the bell as a seed to promote community interest and involvement. You'll see more later. The fragments need to be restored to its original displayable condition. We can get some cooperation of businesses maybe in town to help. We can get the school children involved in designing. You all know that in 1970, the village did not have a flag. The other villages in the community had a flag. The village created a contest to create the new flag. A high school student won the contest for his flag, and it's the one that's flying in that corner today. Now, I don't know if it had any effect on that student, changed his life or anything, but he is now the owner of a graphics arts business in Illinois. So I'd like to get the school involved to help us design a location for, or design a structure for the bell. There's a lot of places the bell could be located. We can't put it back in the church steeple. The church is 150 years old. It was struck by lightning twice. The odds of it being able to support a 300-pound bell now is probably not too good. If we put it on the ground by the church, we're 25 feet away from single-family housing. Kids will ring the bell, they'll throw stones at it. You know, it's in a very quiet neighborhood in Chamber Park. And probably not the most widely visited place in town. Finding another location where it might be more visible to the community would be a good thing. The village campus, the Park District Town Center are good visual areas. The library and its adjacent Horizon Park also is pretty good. As the bell is the first church bell in Wheeling, it's like Wheeling's Liberty Bell. It should be visible in remembrance of its heritage. We can do all these things, but here's the possibility of a greater long-term vision. It's not just the bell. The bell is a seed. How about if we try to use this seed for creating a new community gathering space where community-wide events can be held? Today, fireworks are on the far south side of town. Veterans parades are on the west side. Lighting of the lights are on the far east side. 4th of July has, Dundee Road parades, all with difficult parking, safety, and vision problems. St. Joseph, the village campus, the Park District campus, town center, and the train station is a huge area with good lighting, parking, and safety. We can find a location there to house the bell, add some veterans memorial flags, have some tree plantings, locate the village time capsules, and other community-wide events. Yes, like fireworks, parades, and groundhog ceremonies, it's partially there already. So, a good long-range plan, but we got to take one step at a time. Let's get started with the bell. It can be relocated anywhere we need to move it. It's going to be a very long process. If you think you can help in any way to gather support, design, build, add value to the concept, or even offer constructive criticism, please let us know. I thank you much. I hope I fit into the time allotted.
Thank you very much, and it's a very good idea here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, there was nobody else. We have no consent agenda items. So we'll move to docket number 2022-42. Request for special use to permit a business maintenance service for Apollo Commercial Maintenance at 966 Seton Court. Mr. Secretary.
Oscar Ramirez, leasee, is seeking special use approval pursuant to Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code, Chapter 19.10, use regulations and associated sections, in order to permit a business maintenance service for Apollo Commercial Maintenance located at 966 Seton Court, which is zoned I-1 Light Industrial and Office. A special use is defined in the zoning code as a use of parcel of land that requires review and consideration before approval due to the potential for negative impacts on surrounding properties. In order to be considered for a special use, the petitioner is required to demonstrate through testimony to the Plan Commission at a public hearing that the request meets the standards of the village code, including, but not limited to, how the proposed use will not damage the enjoyment or use of the surrounding properties. Prior to the public hearing, the petitioner provides written statements meant to show that the request meets the standards for a special use as established in Title 19. The Commission chairperson will typically direct that these statements be entered into the record without a full reading of them at the hearing. Based upon the testimony and supporting materials submitted, the Plan Commission will make findings in support of or against the petitioner's testimony and report those findings to the village board.
Thank you. Ms. Nyes, anything on this?
I just wanted to point out that this special use, I don't think we've had one for this category before, but it's because it is a business service establishment. So I included the definition in the staff report, but I'll just repeat that for the public. So a business service establishment is defined as an establishment providing services to business establishments on a fee or contract basis. So it includes, and then there's a list of things. So it's because it is this certain type of business that it is requiring a special use. So it just has to be looked at a little closer because they have different types of vehicles and maybe supplies they're keeping. We've had a couple other special uses in this building. We've looked at parking before, so there's some information on the parking. And then just one thing I wanted to point out was that if they are going to be doing any work on their fleet vehicles, it is just ancillary to their business. They can't work on other people's vehicles, obviously, and that they would have to get any permits that are required if they wanted to put in a lift or any sort of triple basin. But staff did recommend approval with no conditions.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Ramirez?
Yes.
Come on up. I have to swear you in. It's a public hearing, so raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're giving tonight to be the truth?
Yes.
State your name and business address for the record, please.
Oscar Ramirez. The business address is 966 Seton Court in Wheeling, Illinois, 60090.
Thank you. Now explain what it is you want to do.
So we are commercial maintenance is primarily exterior facility maintenance. Our clients are typically property managers, investor owners of retail centers, and what we do is we provide portering services for them and overnight sweeping services for them. So we go out to the property. Our employees report to the facility there on Seton Court. They pick up their vehicles, they go to the properties, and they pick up trash, and they also report any type of deficiency that are on the property, any bent stop signs, graffiti, or whatever it might be. Most of the work, I would say 95% of the work, is done off-site. When the garbage is hauled off, there's zero garbage that comes back to the property. The garbage is dumped off at the property location. We have dumpsters in strategic areas around Chicagoland area where we dump all of our property, so no garbage or even construction debris really comes to our lot. Mainly what we do is store material and vehicles at our property. We also have some offices in our property for customer service. We have an office staff of 4 people, actually 3 right now at this point, and then we have just an kind of handyman on site that helps us with our vehicles, helps us clean the area up. But that's pretty much a summary of what we do.
Thank you. We have nobody from the public to speak on this, so we'll go right to the commission. Start with Commissioner Meyer.
Just a couple questions, if
Sure.
I can, about parking. So
Yes.
I understand, if I understand this correctly, you've got 24 vehicles,
Yes.
okay? Where do your employees park?
Well, what they do is when they come in, they swap out our vehicles for their vehicles.
Okay,
So it'll probably be an exchange, probably somewhere around there.
okay. That's my only question, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Commissioner Riles.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Good evening.
My concern also is the parking.
Sure.
I've noticed in the past and yesterday that some of your vehicles get parked out along Hintz Road there in spots that look like they're more for other businesses.
Okay.
Is there, do you need to use those additional parking spots?
So quite honestly, we don't necessarily care where we park within the parking lot area as long as there's a parking space, and we had spoken to ownership on where he wanted us to park, and he thought that would be the best location for us, because what happens is during the evening hours, there is, I think, a ballet or a dance gymnastics right next to us, and they use all the parking lot spaces. So what we end up doing, even the parking spaces in front of ours, we don't use them even in the days just to accommodate them to be able to use it. Just ownership thought that it would be the best idea if we parked along the back area and along Hintz Road on, not the street side, but there is no street side parking towards the property. And there's, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, on the north side of the property, in the rear side, there is probably about 10 additional parking spaces that we don't use. They're typically always vacant as well. We just do it to respect our other tenant that's just north of us as well. But they don't use the parking spaces, and it was just a recommendation from ownership to park where we're parking at now.
Thank you. How about I've seen a couple of vehicles parked in striped areas, not really parking spots, by the dumpster and on the corner in the back there. And then also there was one of your pickups parked in a spot that's not really a parking spot.
Those there,
I think those are partially parked in the loading dock. Isn't that where your loading dock is? Back there?
Go ahead and go back,
So-
Marcy.
Oh, hold on,
The other way.
That one?
One more. Right there. See that black car by the dumpster?
right
That's
here.
all striped area, and then there was one in front of that vehicle also, one of your company trucks.
well, I know for a fact that is one of my employees' vehicles. Shouldn't be parked there. We'll get it moved. That's not a problem.
Plus, there was a company vehicle in front of that one also,
We'll get that moved.
partially in the striped area.
That's not a problem.
Then the pickup that's on the other side of the dumpster there, that first one, that's not really marked as a parking spot.
That's our in-house guy who's always going in and out for deliveries. If we have any type of, he's always parking there. If he's not supposed to park there, that's not a problem.
Now, is there any issue, Marcy, no issue from the village with all the double parking that's happening right behind the building?
No, like I said, that's their parking, or their loading dock, and if they want to have it's a pickup truck with a trailer on it. If they want to double them up there, that's fine.
Okay. The only other question I have then is, your count was 24 vehicles
Yes,
plus the 6 sweepers?
correct.
Now, are those sweeper vehicles kept inside all the time?
Yeah, for the most part, they're kept inside. If we are doing service on a vehicle for some reason that we need space outside, we'll move them out, and from time to time, they'll stay outside for 1 or 2 days, but they should never be it's not a reoccurring thing.
Okay, because that would put you over the amount of parking spaces that are actually allocated if you added those 6.
Yeah, no, they should always be inside.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks.
Commissioner Berkey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see here where it says that not all vehicles will go out at the same time. So does that mean your employees don't arrive at the same time, or how does that work?
No, they don't, because some properties have portering services that start at a certain time. Some of them start at 8 a.m., some at 9 a.m. We also have shifts that start at noon to 8 p.m. And then we have shifts that come in just to pick up material. They go on their own vehicle and they don't return as well. So there's not going to be a cloud of vehicles coming out at the same time, or typically that's not what's going to happen.
Okay, that was my question, because it seems cluttered if you're swapping out cars, like you mentioned before, vehicles. The other is that, so vehicle maintenance, I know it says you're going to be doing some light maintenance. Where will that occur?
Well, we would like to have it done inside the space.
Okay.
And it would be oil changes, brakes, tire replacements, stuff of that nature. There's not going to be any engine swaps, any painting of vehicles with any fumes or,
Yeah, it can only be light vehicle maintenance, and it has to be done inside.
yeah,
Nothing can be done outside.
Okay. That is all I had. Thank you.
thank you.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yeah, I just, a little more clarification. So oil changes and everything will be done inside or in the parking lot?
Inside
Okay.
the space.
And my only other question probably is for you, Marcy, as well. The garbage, the dumpsters there, do those have to be in an enclosure or no?
No, we can't require a leasee
Okay.
to do that.
That's all I have. Thank
Can
you.
I add to that as well?
Sure.
We don't have any trash containers in the property. We don't have any dumpsters on the property as well. That dumpster that's there does not belong to us.
Okay.
So
That's
everything's dumped off-site.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. You must have some office waste and things like that.
We don't. We put them right into the sweeper truck, so when he takes off, he dumps it somewhere else.
You dump yours somewhere else, okay. Good move. How big of an area do you cover?
We go from northwest Indiana to as far west as probably Joliet, and we go up to McHenry, and then from McHenry right up to the border of Wisconsin, Illinois.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a bit of an area.
That's a lot of area. And you said it's primarily outside work for these companies that you're doing the service on?
Yeah, mainly it's exterior. So this is kind of our slow season right now. So we do a lot of the garbage that we pick up is mainly in the summertime. Even during the sweepers go out mainly now because all the leaves are down on the ground. But once the leaves are scraped up, our sweepers are really not going out. We're also not doing any type of exterior painting or striping down on the ground. It's too cold to be doing so. So we still have some handyman business, but it's very slow right now at this point. Our porters still go out as well, but our crew gets a little smaller during the winter times to go out and pick up any hand debris that's out at the properties.
And you're driving these sweepers all the way to Indiana?
Unfortunately, yes, but we're now in the process of picking up another location so we could have 3 or 4 of our sweepers out there because gas is very, very expensive, especially for these sweepers.
Yeah, I don't imagine they're very cost efficient.
No, not whatsoever.
Okay, that's all I had. Any other questions from the group? Nope. Okay, and Marcy, there are no conditions?
Correct.
So then I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Meyer and Berkey. Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Berkey,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Yes, do you know the date of the next board meeting? I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it was technically Monday, so it'll be December.
December 5th?
Yeah.
Okay. So you will now go on to the village board meeting, and that'll be on December 5th.
Okay,
So we can talk tomorrow about that.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Have you just
good
moved
evening.
into Wheeling?
Pardon me?
Have you just moved into Wheeling?
We have, yes. Well, no, not just, we have as of March of
Okay.
this year. So, yeah. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
You.
All right, we need a motion to close 2022-42.
So moved.
We have a tie.
Second. Ladies first.
Meyer and Heiken. Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Berkey,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Riles,
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right, next up, approval of minutes of the regular meeting of October 26, 2022, including the finding of fact for 2022-37 and 2022-38, and the minutes from November 2nd, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Berkey?
Yes. Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Berkey,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Riles,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. Other business? Ms. Nyes, what you got?
Just that the next meeting is December 7th.
That's it?
It's 3 weeks, isn't it?
That is it.
Okay. Commissioner Meyer, any other business?
None.
Commissioner Riles?
None. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Sprague?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And thank you, Mr. Stylen, for attempting to preserve some of the village's history. I think it's a great idea. That's all I have.
Commissioner Berkey?
Nothing. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Commissioner Heiken?
Same. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I have nothing else. Thank you.
And I will echo the happy Thanksgiving and remind everybody that the lighting of the holiday lights will occur on Sunday at 4:30 at the corner of Dundee and Milwaukee. I assume Santa's going to be there and handing out hot chocolate, I hope. I think that's it. So, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Everybody's anxious. Who'd you give it to?
Commissioner Meyer, seconded.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.